Hello, my name is Wayne Alexander, and today we're going to be taking a look at customizations in CRM 2011. More specifically, adding new fields of different data type to an entity's form. Now, best practice for customizations is to actually do them within a solution, not the default solution. If you want to know how to create solutions, I've done a video on the creation of solutions. I've already created a solution in this test system, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and click on Settings, Solutions on the left hand side, and I'm just going to double click and open up Solution 1. Now, I've already imported accounts, contacts and opportunities, and I actually want to add some data fields to my account entity. So I'm just going to expand entities on the left hand side here, go ahead and expand account, and I'm going to click on forms. Now, big difference between CRM4 and 2011 is that in CRM4, in order to create a field, you had to click on fields or attributes as it was called then, and create the field in that area and then go back to forms. But in 2011 you can actually go directly into the form, which is what I'm going to do now. Double click on my main form, and in the main form, at the bottom right hand side of the screen here, there's a button that says new field, and I can actually create the fields whilst in this form. And what I'm going to do today is create a field of each type. So I'm just going to go ahead here and click on new, and I'm going to call the display name the actual field type. So I'm just going to call this test single line of text. You'll notice when I click away, the schema name automatically gets populated. Searchable is for advanced find, to set it, and you'll notice it's set to yes by default. In other words, you can use it in advanced find. And requirement level is either no constraint, where the system doesn't mind if you add data or not. Business recommended, where the system would like you to add data but it's not essential, that's indicated with a blue cross. Or business required, which is a mandatory red asterisk, which means data must be added. I'm going to go ahead and put it on business recommended, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Save and New. And as I said, I'm literally just going to quickly go through and create a field of each type. So the next on the list is option set. In CRM4 it used to be called pick list, but it's now called option set. Going to leave it with no constraint. Now, I could use an existing option set, but that's going into global option sets, and if you want to find out more about global option sets, I've actually done another video on that. So I'm going to leave that as default to no. I'm going to go ahead and click on plus here, and I'm going to add a few options. So option A, click on plus again, option B one more time, and option C. Okay. Again, just going to go ahead and click Save and New. Normally when you're creating these fields, you would, well, if it's a one-off field, you'll just create Save and Close, but I'm clicking Save and New because I want to just quickly go through and add those. So I'm going to just put in there test two options, and these are radio buttons, a drop down yes and no, or a checkbox. And I'll show you how to pick the different options once we create the field. So two options. I can set my default to yes or no for this. So I'm going to leave it as no and click Save and New. Again, next we have whole number, floating number and decimal number are all pretty much the same thing. Whole number allows you to go from a minimum of -2 billion odd up into 2 billion. Floating point is from 0 to 1 billion. That's it, really the only difference between those. And decimal number, well, it just allows you to put in a decimal point to precision places and up to a maximum of 1 billion. So I'm only going to create one. I'll just create a whole number and call that test whole number. Click Save and New. Go down. Going to go ahead and create a currency field. Exactly the same thing. Again, Save and New. As I'm creating these fields, I also want to point out that I could actually set my field security to enable, and what that would allow me to do is to make this a field security, a field level security. And what it basically means is I could set privileges who can see what data within this field that I'm creating. I won't do that this time, but I've created another video on field level security, which you can go in and see how to create those fields and specifically how to give permissions on those. So I'm just going to put in here test date and time, and last but not least, just going to go ahead and add my lookup. Now lookup has changed from CRM4. In CRM4 you had to create the relationship and the system would create the lookup. Now it's done the other way. Now you would automatically create the lookup and the system in the background creates the relationship. And when I say lookup, it's the magnifying glass that you click on to associate one record with another. So I'm going to create a lookup for competitors. I'm just going to go ahead and call that test lookup. Now I'm just going to go ahead and save and close, and when I save and close it will bring me back to the main screen, which was the main form, I should say. So it's just going to go ahead and create that field now, and we're back to where we began. Now what I want to do is look at the fields that I've created, and you'll find them on the right hand side here, but what you can actually do is filter to only look at custom fields. If I change the filter, you'll notice it shows all of my fields that I've just created there. Now by default, when you open up the main form, the system would automatically highlight the body, which means the main body of the form where you can add and remove fields. You can actually, if you wanted to, click on the navigation and then allows you, you'll notice now the body has gone read only, and it will allow you to actually add and remove links from the left nav. But today we're going to add those fields, so I'm going back to my body. As you know, exactly like CRM4, in order to add a field to a form, you must the system must have a section. So when I say section, if I just go ahead and click over here, you'll notice that description here is a section, details is a tab, and all I'm going to literally do, and it's a new functionality of 2011, is I can just drag those fields onto the form. There you go, just dragging them in there. All of my options. Just drag them on here. You'll notice that in order for them to actually go onto the form, a little red line would suddenly appear, which means the system will lock that field in. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that now. Last but not least, my multiple lines of text. So those fields have now been added to the form. If I wanted to remove a field, really straightforward. Ticker symbol is an example. I'm going to go ahead and click on the field so it's highlighted. In the Home tab, simply hit remove, and those fields will disappear. I'm just going to go ahead now and click on preview just to take a look and see what the form looks like with those are new fields. So I'm just clicking on preview, create form, and you'll see here that the system will bring up the form as an end user would see it. And there's my form, and here are the fields that I've added. So there's my test currency, there's my lookup, which I click on, it will show me competitors. Here's my test option sets with options A, B and C. My two test options, by default it will show you radio buttons. I'll show you how you can change that to a checkbox. My whole number, there's my single line of text with the business recommended. So the system allows you to preview before you actually click publish. So before I actually come out of this, I'm just going to show you how you can change the two option sets. If you add the field to the form and then actually double click on the field, it would open up that particular field. If I go to formatting, here I can change the option from radio buttons to checkbox or list. List is just a drop down, so I'm going to change it to checkbox and click OK, and then it'll be changed. Very important, whenever you make changes to a form by adding fields or removing fields, first of all you must click save, and if you want those changes to become available you must click publish. Publish is what makes the changes that you've made available for everyone else in the organization to see. If you want to make changes systematically over a period of time, you can make those changes, just click save or save and close, and don't hit publish. Publish is only when you want end users to see the changes that you've made. Okay, just going to go ahead and click save and close to bring us back to our form, our solution, and I'm just going to click X to come out of that solution there. So I've just showed you best practice of how to create new fields and to add them to an entity in CRM 2011. Thank you.